Good morning, Todd and Carly. Here we go, just hours away from that debate, and Harris has been hunkered down now for almost a week in a Pittsburgh hotel, prepping with a mock debate stage and a stand-in for Trump amid reports her team is scrambling to rewrite her playbook after the rules were finalized with those muted mics. And we got a glimpse of her thinking in an interview she taped a week ago.
I think he's going to lie. And, he has a playbook that he has used in the past. Be it, his attacks on President Obama or Hillary Clinton. So we should expect that some of that might come out.
This will be the first time the two candidates cross paths in person for Harris. It's her first time ever on the biggest debate stage in the world, having to defend a record which Lara Trump says has been a failure.
I'm not surprised that she's failing. Every single American knows the problems that this country has, right? I mean, your prices are through the roof. Illegal immigrants are taking over low-income housing all over the place. Fentanyl is killing our children. There are wars breaking out all over the globe. Our Constitution's under attack. Our religion's under attack. Everything's under attack. You know, the American lifestyle, the American dream is no longer alive and well.
This comes as polls tighten in the swing states. In North Carolina, Harris has a 3-point lead over Trump, 50-47, you can see there. But in Georgia, which has emerged as one of the biggest battlegrounds, Trump has a 3-point lead over Harris, 49-46, both Quinnipiac polls within the margin of error. Finally, Todd and Carly, I think what will be really interesting tonight to see is how Harris presents herself as both the sitting vice president and the candidate of change at the same time.
What are you going to wish for? How many wishes do I get? As many as you want. Really? Try it.
I'm on drugs like Joe Biden. So good. Whoa, okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to rock. Today, we've been locked and loaded. For today, we've been waiting for this moment. We're so very hyped. This is the day. This is the day when Kamala Harris crashes and burns today. When she snipes and yells and screams and mules and melts down because she cannot handle the pressure and she's not built for this. This will be a day truly to celebrate. Trump's going to destroy Kamala Harris tonight, and we will be there to watch it all happen. We have a front row seat for you. You can warm your hands on the burning embers of what's left of the wreckage of the Kamala communist campaign. Oh, baby, we've been preparing. Actually, we've had a physical poster in the shot. Look, it's a practical effect. We've had a physical poster in the shot for months waiting for this, and today is the day. We are so very, very excited about it. Ladies and gentlemen, today is September 10th, Tuesday. It's 2024, and it's debate night. Ooh, Debate-Mageddon, we are calling it, and we have one hell of a lineup for you. Check this out. These are all of the guests that will be joining us today. Lara Trump, Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the great General Flynn, Matt Whitaker, Monica Crowley, Scott Presler, Corey Mills, Mike Pence, and many more. Senator Tommy Tuberville on today's show, along with Lara Trump, who will be joining us. Who joined us, actually, we'll be talking about what President Trump is doing to prepare for his debate. But it is going to be glorious. We are feeling the energy today. Are you feeling those vibrations? You feeling that energy? You feel that? You feel like there's a little bit of a chill in the air. There's a spark right now in everything that is happening in the universe, and it's exciting. It's exciting. We've prepared for this moment. Kamala Harris has not. Kamala Harris apparently is in total and complete collapse. Even Democrats are trying to predict and soften a Kamala collapse, and we're going to talk all about it this morning. Melania Trump breaks her silence on her husband's assassination, something we weren't counting on that happened right away this morning as well. So talk about setting the debate properly. Melania Trump out saying there's more to the assassination of President Trump than we know. Okay. Yeah, baby. Today is the day. My name is Benny Johnson, and this is The Benny Show. Keeping us powered, although this cup is completely empty. Totally empty today. I've already gone through an entire pot of coffee. Keeping us powered is our friend at Blackout Coffee. Blackout Coffee is the juice, the black juice. I'm gonna take my coffee black, no cream or sugar for this guy. And by the way, if you're drinking your coffee black, you got to make sure you have good coffee, because you can mask bad coffee with a bunch of sugar, with like pounds of sugar and a bunch of milk, and then you just that's what you taste. Then a sugary, like a sugar bomb coffee. No, baby, we count our calories around here. We got to change shape, and so not gonna add in pounds of sugar. So you better have good coffee. And that's what's rolling around right here in the Brigade Mug Tank Shell every morning. And Blackout Coffee is our incredible partner. They're 100% American, 0% grift. They're family owned. And they're the people who keep this country going and keep our show going. We have the energy to fight the communists because of it. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Use the coupon Benny at checkout, 20% off your first order. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Be awake and not woke. Man, love that tagline. Find them at Public Square. Such a great partner of the show. Couldn't do the show without him, actually. Today, we're going to be live for many hours. We're going to do our morning show live here. This is the programming for us today. We're going to do our morning show live here. And we're going to then pivot this evening. And we're going to be live. The debate is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we're going to go live a couple of hours before the debate. And we have a bunch of guests locked in and lined up to talk through what we are going to see. And ladies and gentlemen, later on in the show, this morning, we have Lara Trump and Senator Tuberville. So we are going to make sure that we get you the front row seat to the roasting, burning embers of the Kamala campaign. However, before that, I just want to touch on something shocking that happened this morning. Melania Trump released a video that nobody was counting on this morning that kind of blew all of our minds, where she said that we haven't heard the full story about her husband's assassination. She started to question, why didn't cops arrest the shooter, Thomas Crooks? Every red flag on earth about this guy. Why didn't the cops go in and save her husband? These are interesting questions. Here's the video.
Attempt to end my husband's life was a horrible, distressing experience. Now, the silence around it feels heavy. I can't help but wonder, why didn't law enforcement officials arrest the shooter before the speech? There is definitely more to this story, and we need to uncover the truth.
Yeah, okay. These are great questions. You want to talk about a October surprise? They always talk about October surprises in politics. Maybe the October surprise, Melania joining the trail with Trump. I think Melania is Trump's secret weapon. And Melania is such a, she's just a powerful and elegant first lady. When she speaks, people listen. And she's probably our smartest first lady. She knows 7 languages. Probably has the highest IQ of any first lady. And she's just has been a profound spokesperson for her husband. We went back and listened to some of the old speeches that she's given on the campaign trail with Trump. Because, the first term, she is raising her young teenage boy, Barron. Now Barron is starting his first semester in college. And so there was a lot of there's very much a cone of privacy and cushion that was given in the first administration. Even libs got canceled, right? For trying to destroy that. There are multiple libs who tried to make fun of Barron, came after Barron and came after Melania. And even they lost their jobs, and good for that. Good. Right. But now Melania seems to be much more aggressive on this, saying, why was this shooter allowed to take shots at my husband? Why was this allowed to happen? We need to find out more. And there is more to the story. What does she know? It's wow. In concert with that video, we find out that a director at the Secret Service is now being fired in response to this. This was breaking at time of show, but now there is a director. Guys, can you actually grab that up? I saw that as we were going live. There's a director at the Secret Service who's now losing their job and has been terminated. One of the first like major firings. Is it because of Melania Trump and this video? Why are they happening at the same time? It's very interesting. And also, perfect right before the debate, they're trying to silence and to eliminate from your mind any type of reference. There it is. Pop that up. Any type of reference to President Trump eating a bullet for this country. In fact, I saw yesterday multiple conspiracy theorists still coming after this truly pernicious idea that like there was no bullet. This is the conspiracy theorists of the left. There was no bullet. This was all a setup. I saw that in my feed yesterday. That's how much they are threatened by President Trump, his reaction to this, and for what it actually means for their side. U.S. Secret Service Assistant Director asked to resign, not retire, resign over Butler assassination attempt of Trump. Goodness. So now the heads are beginning to roll. Proverbially, thankfully, and metaphorically, and not literally, as the on-air execution of President Trump was staved off by what we believe to be a miracle from God. So yeah, you can. I mean, here you can see right now. Libs are. Here's the post. Libs are straight up saying, and it's getting hundreds of thousands of likes. Libs are straight up saying, "Oh, Donald Trump never actually got shot." Oh, look, I've never seen an ear heal this fast. Evander Holyfield still has a bite out of his ear. Mike Tyson bit his ear off. This is what's being communicated on the left. So, like, covering our side is one thing, and we do our best on this program to do it. But covering like what the left is saying and what's bubbling up, like this is how dangerous. The President Trump survived an assassination attempt by a psychotic Antifa leftist who tried to murder him, and there are so many questions about it. This is how dangerous that narrative is. I mean, of course, you see The Rock now going and defending Trump, Mark Zuckerberg defending Trump, Elton John defending Trump. There's too much to play. Maybe we'll bundle it all up for this evening's broadcast, but it's wild what's going on. And there's a total and complete energy shift. I'm sure you feel it, just like we do. There's also like a sense of dread for Kamala Harris tonight. I hope that President Trump brings this up. The last time President Trump was on a debate stage, there had not been an assassination attempt yet. President Trump went on that debate stage against Joe Biden and did not have bandages on his ear, right? Like this hadn't happened. Now, I hope President Trump brings it up. I really do. I hope it's a central part of the debate. How leftist lunatics, radical Marxists, radicalize and make people exceedingly dangerous. Now, President Trump had to eat a bullet for this country, and he'll continue to take bullets for this country because he loves it so much. I mean, this is like a strong, strong line. Ladies and gentlemen, the weakness that could derail Kamala Harris's debate. Experts reveal VP's fatal flaw that could lead to disaster. Kamala Harris struggled to gain traction in Democrat presidential debates because of this flaw. Let's read. This is top of the Daily Mail this morning. Vice President Kamala Harris will participate in the most important political debate in her career on Tuesday evening. She has a mixed record on the stage. Harris participated in multiple presidential debates with a gaggle of aspirational Democrats during her failed 2020 campaign. She struggled to break free of the pack and go viral. Tuesday's debate with Harris marks Trump's 7th general election debate since 2016. While this is Harris's first with a Republican presidential candidate. Political strategists who have prepared Republican candidates spoke to the Daily Mail about her strengths and weaknesses. Harris is good about preparing, rehearsing, and deploying prepared lines and narratives, even though her attempts to go viral do not always come off with hit. She's going to have a number of lines prepared, says Republican strategist, but warned that candidates deploying to prepare lines risk coming off as phony and calculated. Harris's weakness, he said, it was her reluctance to dive into the details of public policy. She's not someone who's really interested in policy. She's more interested in power. And that comes across clear as day when you watch Kamala Harris speak or do anything. He describes Harris's famous I'm Speaking episode as a moment clearly prepared by the Harris campaign to create a man-slaying moment against Pence. So they're going to try so hard for this like boom, clap, hallelujah girl moment for tonight. This is why Kamala Harris has been standing on the very tips of her high heels, screaming for the mics to be unmuted so you can interrupt Trump, screaming for notes, screaming for any help that she can get here in the debate. She didn't get any of it. It's going to be very, very interesting. Harris came up short in her debate with Pence when it came to policy details. Pence focused on her and Biden's radical left record, and now President Trump is going to be able to say, well, you know what? You think this country's in shambles? You're the person in charge right now. All the polling shows that America wants a different course, that they want a change in where the country's going. That's what every poll, this is the bedrock of every single poll. And so all Trump needs to do is say, every single problem with this nation, you're responsible for it. The end. How are you going to change yourself? Boom. So we're going to see, we'll see Kamala Harris is not a great debater. She, of course, had her entire career destroyed by Tulsi Gabbard, who was able to just eviscerate and gut her record in 90 seconds. Kamala, though, is debating and practicing and rehearsing her comebacks. This is not something that you do when you're actually confident. And using a Trump stand-in, a guy with a Donald Trump hair and a Trump necktie. This is the same guy who, and you're going to love this, prepared Hillary Clinton for the debates. Let's go.
Well, Brianna and Boris, she has closely studied the former president's past 6 debate performances. She's also been sort of entrenched in these briefing papers going over the former president's past comments, as well as the ways that he has insulted her, so she can be prepared to respond to that. She's engaged in these mock debates with a stand-in for the former president, and she's had conversations with Hillary Clinton and President Biden, who both extensively have knowledge of debating the former president. Ultimately, the goal here is not only to forcefully make the case against the former president, but also to send a message to America that it is time to move on from the era of Trumpism and divisive politics.
Wouldn't it be nice to, like, isn't it nice to have reporters just straight up say your talking points for you? What a world. What a world that would be. This is what Kamala depended on in her debate with Pence. The reason they didn't want the mics to be muted was so that she can do this to President Trump. She didn't get it, but here it is.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait,
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation. Okay?
Please.
Okay.
Non-answer.
Trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President. I'm speaking. Yeah, I'm about to. I will not be lectured by the Vice President.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole. You ever seen Toy Story? There's a snake in my boot. This is Kamala Harris. Oh man. So expect that tonight. We're telling you, they're going to try as hard as they can to like put Trump in a box and have like some one-liners prepared. Get ready for this. This is the one that I can absolutely guarantee for you. Okay, here we go. Kamala's going to say, I'm the prosecutor. I don't know if she's going to use her Southern accents. We have no idea. We have no idea if she's going to sound like Foghorn Leghorn. I'm the prosecutor, right? You're a criminal, right? That expect that. That's going to be first. That's number one. And then after that, she's going to have nothing. You're not allowed any notes. She's not going to be allowed to interrupt Trump. She's not going to be allowed to like snipe at what they're saying. And although they're desperate to try and get that, they're going to have reporters in the room that can listen to what's said, even though it's not going to be audible for television audiences. So that tells you exactly what the strategy is. The strategy is to like girl boss Trump to death. Okay. And I actually think America's had a belly full of it. I honestly, I think that moment's over. I think that like the like you're going to like boom clap comeback to Trump. And that's going to be like the Slay Queen moment. Nope. Not when gas is $4 a gallon. Not when everyone's groceries are $500 just to like leave Walmart to get some bread and milk. Not when no one can afford a home. Not when everyone is seeing the hell and third world environments that are created all around the country because Kamala Harris opened all the borders and was the borders are. That's not going to work, right? The little sassy comebacks, it might work for like the lowest IQ clapping seals. It's not going to work tonight, but it's going to be cringy. And this is clearly the only strategy they got. This is why they screamed about the mic so much. Watch.
According to Politico, the whole entire Harris debate strategy hinged on being able to fact check him in real time. And when they have the mics muted, she's not going to be able to do that. So in Pittsburgh, they've apparently been trying to figure out how exactly she is supposed to debate when she cannot be jumping in. But it's entirely a problem of their own making. The Democratic staffers who are working for Vice President Harris now were working for Joe Biden. They created these rules. They requested these rules, and Trump agreed months ago to protect Joe Biden. She is now bound by them. Back to you.
Mm-hmm. So expect some of that. It's going to be exceedingly cringe. We'll be live, obviously, during the debate, and we're going to be doing live commentary and coverage. It's going to be really, really fun. We'll put your comments up on screen, and it's going to be a riot. Actually, I don't think it's going to work. Kamala Harris is actually a really poor debater, and all you need to do is just knock her like off her pedestal. They're not allowed pedestals either. They're not allowed like boxes to stand on. Kamala wanted that as well. Yeah. All you need to do is like a little bit of chin music, right? And Kamala like collapses. This is what happens when you're not a real human being, when you don't have a soul. This is what happens when you don't have any confidence in yourself. And this is what Tulsi Gabbard, who's been preparing Donald Trump this entire week, was able to do to Kamala. This ended the Kamala campaign. Kamala ended her campaign after this.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. That would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris.
She actually went on the Kamala Harris uses slave labor line. Oh, man. That's the person preparing President Trump. We're not sure that Trump needs a bunch of prep here, but this is, we all understand, this is a materially different opponent than Joe Biden. Tulsi Gabbard understands this. She's the one who's been shadow boxing with President Trump, preparing him for the knockouts that we personally believe he's going to land in the most entertaining possible way tonight, because Kamala Harris's record is a garbage trash heap on top of a tire fire, floating on one of those giant trash islands that China creates out in the middle of the ocean. Her record is indefensible. She's held every conceivable position on every issue. It would be so easy to just rip that apart, but there's no notes, right? No notes. Just got to know your facts. What's Tulsi say about her debate prep with Trump?
When you dissected, we should say that, Kamala Harris back in the good old days of the Democrat primary, how did you perceive her, and what about her told you that was the way to get her to go down?
As you remember, Jesse, she was treated like with kid gloves by the mainstream propaganda media. She was treated with kid gloves even by every other candidate that was on that debate stage. No one questioned her, challenged her, or called her out for the record as prosecutor that she claimed to be proud of. She talked every day about how she'd be a prosecutor president, but no one questioned her about what that record was and how that would translate if she were president. And I pointed out the hypocrisy. I pointed out the hypocrisy of how she would do one thing, and when the standard was held to herself, she did the exact opposite. We are seeing that opportunity again in this debate coming up tomorrow night for President Trump to do the very same thing. What Kamala Harris is saying, the lies that she is selling to the American people now, is the exact opposite of the record that she has had, frankly, as the incumbent in this race. She's been in the White House for the last 3.5 years, almost 4 years, not President Trump. And our country's in a disastrous position as a result, both on domestic and foreign policy. So she's not to be underestimated because she is talented on a debate stage. There's no question about that. But she's going to have a tough time trying to defend this record that, quite frankly, from the view of the American people, is indefensible.
So this is a very smart strategy. Obviously, don't underestimate your opponent. We can do that here. We think that we watched Kamala's CNN interview. We all watched it live together, right? We had like 100,000 people watching Kamala's CNN interview. It was an absolute dumpster fire. Listen, even Dana Bash went out afterwards and said, she's lying. You know, I could tell Kamala was lying. Yeah, they had a 50-minute interview. They cut it down to 16 minutes. How bad was it? This isn't a pre-tape. This wasn't live, and I don't think that Kamala can handle the pressure. And I think what's actually happening here is she's going to be over-prepared, and it's going to collide when you're not able to just be yourself and be loose and like let her rip. You get really tensed up. You've all seen, maybe you've watched MMA. You see fighters that like feel the moment too much and like feel the pressure, and you can see how it weighs on them, and they're not loose and they're not moving. And you can like tell who you should bet against actually in those moments. You can see the people who like are tensed up and they can't handle it. They're not built for it. President Trump's built for it. How does President Trump prepare for a debate? We found this incredible old clip from back in the day when President Trump was still allowed on late night. Jimmy Fallon. There's a little bit of a longer clip there, but it's an incredible historic archive of a moment when President Trump was invited on some of the biggest names in late night. And when he would go there, like, why wouldn't you want that? Trump's comedy gold. I'm gifted with a great memory. What can I say? I have no notes. People know when it's scripted. This is Trump from like a decade. That's a decade-old clip. It's amazing how time flies. But like, this is Trump saying something so incredibly and profoundly true. My first time ever hearing Trump on a debate stage was his first debate. And I was sitting in the front row of Fox News. I will never forget it. Cleveland, Ohio, in a massive arena where I think the Cleveland Cavaliers play, if I'm remembering this correctly. And it's this big arena, and there were thousands of people. And it was a live debate. It was a Republican debate. And Megyn Kelly goes in hard at President Trump in a moment that cannot be scripted, in a moment that is impossible to script. And thus underlying, like the beauty of Trump's strategy here, says this line and changes politics forever. Only Rosie O'Donnell.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
So what's the genius of this? Make Megyn Kelly defend Rosie O'Donnell. Oh, you're not going to do that. It's a Fox News host. This is genius. And he's going to do this. And we've seen President Trump actually, Megyn Kelly, love her channel. We like Megyn Kelly. I don't know her personally, but like I'm nothing against Megyn Kelly, but it's just a laser guided hypersonic missile right there. President Trump, talk about resetting the entire arena. And it's so neat to have a front row seat to these things. Of course, there's going to be no audience. Check me on that, ALX. But there's going to be no audience tonight. They can't allow an audience, of course. Couldn't allow people to cheer and scream and yell in a moment like this. This is what Kamala Harris. We've seen Donald Trump with a far left-wing, leftist, liberal woman who is deeply unpopular, who cannot connect with normal human beings because she's not a normal human being, who's deeply insecure in herself, who has every advisor and every person like screaming in her ear, who has too many notes, who isn't loose. We've seen this before. We've seen this play out before. Do you know that Kamala Harris is preparing with the same person that prepared Hillary? The same guy. His name's Philippe Rines. It's the same dude who prepared. We invited him on the show today, actually, because we know him. We have his contact information. This same guy is like playing Donald Trump. For Hillary Clinton is prepared in the same way that Kamala Harris is being prepared. And this is why they can't allow audiences. Go.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country?
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
So what do you got? You got a moment where President Trump is going to look Kamala in the face and go, you're the one who's never had a private sector job. You're the one who's never done anything other than serve yourself. You've been in power your entire life in California, Senate, Intelligence Committee, Vice President, and the country has gone to shambles. I'm the billionaire with like some skyscrapers and golf courses. I didn't have to do this. And it's going to be, and all of the problems were created by you. That's all you need, man. All the problems were created by you. President Trump does that, man. It's gonna whistle, ring like a bell. This is what he did to Hillary Clinton. There are so many examples of it, but like this.
And she could have done this years ago, by the way. She was a United States senator. She complains that Donald Trump took advantage of the tax code. Well, why didn't she change it? Why didn't you change it when you were a senator? The reason you didn't is that all your friends take the same advantage that I do. And I do. You have provisions in the tax code that, frankly, we could change. But you wouldn't change it because all of these people give you the money so you can take negative ads on Donald Trump.
Ooh, you won't change it because of your donors. You won't change it because your donors are the same as my donors, and you're the one who's been in power. So everything that's in shambles right now, blame you. That's it. That's the strategy. That's it. Kamala Harris she can do that as much. I actually think that looks really cringe. It looks unpresidential. It looks very annoying. And I think America's like past that moment. We actually want adults in charge now, which is what Eric Trump, the points that Eric Trump made actually the Trump family coming out swinging this morning. Lara Trump, ladies and gentlemen, in just a moment, but her husband, Eric Trump, live this morning.
These aren't serious people. My father, 2 weeks ago, was laying a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery on the anniversary of Abbey-gate, the worst withdrawal from Afghanistan in the history of this country. And Biden is asleep on a beach. She's ignoring interviews from guys like you. I mean, she's done one interview that was, 17 minutes long with CNN softball questions in the last 44 days. She's totally taking the American people for granted. I mean, 100%. And again, she's lying to them. On day one, I'm going to be very, very, strong on the southern border. No, you won't. You flew 320,000 illegal immigrants into the country under the cover of darkness on 737s landing at random airports around the country at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? You're not going to be serious on crime because you would have done something. She literally sold a border wall that was completed, all the steel, that all they need to do is stand the steel up. She sold it for scrap metal. And what, she's going to be serious on illegal immigration? She's been there for 4 years. They haven't done a damn thing about prices. Not a damn thing. Prices have...
Ladies and gentlemen, the Trumps are out, and they are ready today to fight. So incredibly prepared for this day. It's great. You're either built for war, you're either built for battle, you're either built for the war zone, or you're not, or you're sitting in the stands and you're sucking down Coca-Cola and eating popcorn, and that's fine. But like, if you're going to be in the arena, man, you better be built for battle. It's a war zone. It's a war zone. That's why we were so honored to speak with Lara Trump this morning. She has a long day ahead of her and travel, but Lara Trump spoke with us very early in the morning and wanted to make sure that she delivered her message to you, ladies and gentlemen. So Lara Trump on the day of days, Debate-Mageddon. Here we go. Joining us now, the great chairwoman of the RNC and, of course, Donald Trump's own family, Lara Trump, who has been ready to rock for this moment. The day is finally here.
Yeah.
We're excited about it. It's battle royale. And I don't know, man. I sense we sense a lot of energy on this program. I sense there's a lot of nervousness in the Kamala side.
Well, rightly so, Benny. I mean, look, this is going to be everything for her. She has been basically it's the basement strategy. They're doing the same thing with her they did with Joe Biden in 2020, except for the fact that they can't use COVID as their rationale for keeping her out of the public eye and out of the public space. She did the one soft CNN interview, 18 minutes, I think, total of her speaking. And she had her emotional support animal with Tim Walz there beside her. She's not going to have that tonight. And she has to actually defend where we are in this country. Kamala Harris, I'll remind everybody, is in the White House right now. So for her to make the case to the American people that, hey, things are great, sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, put me back in here so you can get more of the same, I think is a bit of a tough sell to people when people are having a hard time getting by, when life is expensive, when things have not gotten better for people, they've gotten worse for people under the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden regime. She's going to have a bit of a hard time selling that. And on the other side of the ticket, you've got Donald Trump. You've got a person who actually delivered low prices for people, more jobs for people, manufacturing back to this country, peace agreements instead of wars, a closed and secure southern border. So I can't wait to see, in what, about 2 hours or so, what we're going to get out of Kamala Harris. But I think that they're very nervous on her side. And Donald Trump is coming. He's coming with receipts. He's coming with a plan, and he's coming with actual results that he delivered for the American people.
And so Donald Trump's coming with receipts. I want to talk Trump strategy and Kamala strategy. So first off, Kamala strategy, because we've been hearing a little bit about this, and it's been kind of funny. She's been pre-scripting her comebacks. This sounds like somebody who is running for student body vice president,
right,
and is like shaken like a leaf. She seems very nervous. She was screaming in order to get her I'm speaking moment, get the mics turned on, get a box to stand on, I guess, have notes. She had to fight. She was trying to fight for all of those things. And now we hear that Philippe Rines is playing Donald Trump in a wig and a long red tie. I don't know, man. It seems like major nerves out of Kamala camp.
Well, because Benny, to your point, she is looking for that I'm speaking, that moment. They want the viral clips that they could chop up and put out there on social media and on the internet, because Kamala Harris cannot win on policy. She cannot win on what she's accomplished, because she has accomplished the opposite of what has been good for the American people and the world by and large. Just take a look around, ladies and gentlemen. You don't have to take my word for it. And so they're going to have to bank on one of those moments. If what you're doing going into a debate is actually looking to needle your opponent and get your opponent to react, instead of actually talking about a plan forward and a path to a better life for the American people, you're probably doing something wrong. And so that is a bit of a problem, I think, for her going into this. And there is also a possibility that maybe they've overprepared her. She's been locked away in Pittsburgh for 5 days, Benny. What's been going on? Remember when they locked up Joe Biden for 10 days leading into that June 27th debate? How did that play out for him? You can be overprepared. And if she's too scripted and it seems phony, which Kamala Harris tends to seem oftentimes to a lot of people, it's not going to resonate well with the American people. It's not going to come off the way that she expects it to. On the other side, of course, you have Donald Trump, who is authentic as they come. I mean, you can't script this man. Believe me, people have tried, Benny.
I'm sure you've tried.
And it doesn't work. But that's why people love him, his authenticity. And really, when you hear from Donald Trump, you're hearing his true thoughts. You're hearing his true plan. You're not hearing what a bunch of consultants gave to him to say. You're hearing it from the man and from his own mind. And that is something that America is desperate to have after 4 years of Kamala and Joe Biden in the White House.
We rewatched the Mike Pence Kamala debate, which was the last time we saw her debate. She's not a real candidate. She's not a legitimate candidate. Right. She didn't run a primary. Nobody voted for her. So we didn't get to, and nobody got to vet her this time around. And people have sort of like forgotten about her. It was just a few months ago that most of the pundits were talking about Joe Biden kicking her off the ticket, actually, because she was so unpopular.
Yeah.
But I can see why
Vice President,
these clips are crazy.
I'm speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
It's so
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
cringe.
I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation.
Almost worse than the fly.
Trying to answer you
The
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
Okay. So like this is like nails on a chalkboard, Laura.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. I don't know who likes that. I'm not sure with whom that will resonate. I can tell you as a woman, it makes me very uncomfortable to watch that. And cringe is the right word, of course, for that. And she is also, Benny, going to try and do something where we've heard her do it in her campaign speeches, or the same one she's done like 25 times in a row. Remember that one? I'm a prosecutor. I know Donald Trump's type. She's going to try and play that role. But it's also something that I think makes people a little like, well, what is it that you're prosecuting? Because you've been in the White House for 4 years alongside Joe Biden. And if the things you're attacking Donald Trump on are the things that your Department of Justice actually weaponized and in order to take him out as a political opponent for your team, I don't know how great that's going to come across for people. That is all she has, though. Let's be clear. She really can't go out there and expand and articulate anything in terms of policy. What have we actually heard from Kamala Harris on anything that she wants to do for the future of this country? So far, she's either stolen Donald Trump's ideas like no tax on tips, or she's talking full-blown communist in terms of price fixing. Whether or not Kamala Harris even understands what that means or how to put something like that in place is up for discussion. She's a little bit like Ron Burgundy. You put it up there on the teleprompter. We know Kamala Harris will say it, but can she actually expand on this? Can she articulate any sort of points on anything? And that remains to be seen. So all she has are those viral moments, those needling moments, those sorts of things. And she's going to try, and I'm sure have many of those tonight. I got to tell you, I don't think Donald Trump is going to take the bait. He's well aware that this is what's coming down the pike for him.
Yeah, cringe flying in on cringe force one. We could not believe. I mean, it's just hard to. It's just hard to watch. Yeah. It's hard to watch. One more question on Kamala, because you are from the South. Well, at least you live in the South, right? You live in North Carolina. Your family from North Carolina. It's like family North Carolina. You're so proud of that. You love that. Some people were speculating maybe you'd run for Senate in North Carolina. Who knows what the future will hold? But you're a proud Southern girl. Yet Kamala Harris, who grew up in Quebec, Canada, in a very leafy, beautiful, rich suburb of that foreign country, Kamala Harris somehow has, given the audience that she's speaking to, gets this very Southern affect in her the cadence of speaking. It's very strange. We have like a very short clip here to prove how she. I'm sure you grew up with people who talk just like this. Do you think Kamala Harris will use this accent during the debate?
My friend Quavo would say, he does not walk it like he talks it. Everywhere I go, I tell people, look, you may not be a union member. You better thank a union member. For the 5-day work week, you better thank a union member. For sick leave, you better thank a union member.
So we've all seen it. We've all seen it. It's widely viewed clips. We have hours of it, of Kamala Harris having suddenly this like foghorn leghorn, extra and Gone with the Wind accent. Yeah. Do you think she's going to bring that accent to tonight's debate?
Gosh, I hope so. I hope we get a shot at that one. This is, Benny, this is the inauthenticity that I'm talking about. This is the inauthenticity that the American people really don't like. You have to present yourself as who you are. And for all the criticism that Donald Trump has received over the past 9 years, there is one thing on which you cannot knock him. He is authentic to the core. You do not get more authentic than Donald Trump. He's transparent to the core. And you're never going to hear him coming up with weird accents out of the gate, just depending on where he is, to which audience he's speaking. It's ridiculous. And it's very pandery and really gross to people, I think, to see this. And so I'd love to poll the people in the audience there whenever she actually breaks out this weird accent and say, like, do you guys buy this? Is this positive to you? No one likes that. No one likes to feel like someone's just faking it to be around you. We all know people like that. And quite frankly, we don't like people like that. So yeah, let's hope she breaks that accent out tonight. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, it says so much about her, deeply insecure and doesn't know who she is. And then it says so much as how little she thinks of her audience, how much she's how insulting it is that she thinks people are so stupid they buy this. Okay, so moving on to President Trump, Kamala Harris, I think, is a total wreck leading up to this. President Trump, can you give us some insights as to how he's prepared for this debate?
Yeah, I mean, look, Benny, he's been out there constantly in front of the media. And I think the way you prepare to field questions that are probably going to be very tough questions is you take tough questions and you take them from maybe people questioning you who are not the friendliest. And we've seen Donald Trump in multiple circumstances doing those press conferences, 90 minutes long, taking questions from anyone and everyone. You've seen him sit down and do long form podcast interviews where he really gets to expand on his thoughts on a multitude of different subjects. And of course, he is doing the traditional debate prep. He is actually studying up on who Kamala Harris is. He wants to make sure he exposes her because let's face it, this is probably going to be a 3-on-1 situation. Likely ABC News is not going to go out of their way to be nice to Donald Trump. I'm pretty sure they'll probably be a little bit nicer to Kamala Harris. The best we can hope is that they're honest. And I will say I'll give CNN credit where credit is due. That June 27th debate, they were very even-handed. They were very fair. And that's what the American people deserve to see. But knowing how we probably have to approach this debate, Donald Trump has gone into it realizing he likely will have to expose Kamala Harris for a lot of her very radical values, a lot of the very radical stances she's taken on things, because I don't think ABC News is going to call her out for it. So it's incumbent on him to do that. And he's prepared tonight to do just that.
Any details on what Trump wishes to talk about tonight or any messages that he wishes to push forward? Obviously, there were some very strong comments on January 6th on abortion. These are things that really stuck with people. Some of the even though Trump, you told us before the last debate that Trump was going to be calm, cool, collected, magisterial, and he was, but even he couldn't stop from you did beat Medicare, you beat it to death, and I don't even think this guy knows what he's talking about. Can you tell me, like, what are the platform messages? It's probably going to be the only debate. Probably going to be the only debate. So what's the message?
By the way, Donald Trump wins more debates. Traditionally, Benny, we have 3 presidential debates. Given the fact that he wiped out their first candidate, one knockout punch in June 27th in that debate, we would like, as the American people, to see Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on a debate stage 2 more times after tonight. I think we deserve to see them and hear all of their policies and what they want to do for this country. He is very happy to do that. I doubt we're going to get that opportunity with Kamala. But, I think it's about comparing and contrasting 2 different presidencies and administrations. Look, Kamala Harris is in the White House right now alongside Joe Biden, wherever the heck he is, probably on a beach somewhere falling asleep. But nonetheless, we have the opportunity to see both administrations and how our life is. He has to bring people back to when he was president, remind them about the things he did, and remind them who brought you the suffering and the pain that we are in right now. Why on earth would you trust Kamala Harris to do anything? She is the one who said she was the last in the room for Afghanistan. She is the one who cast the deciding vote for the $1.9 trillion spending bill. She is the one who was supposed to secure the southern border, and it has been an utter disaster. He is going to have to compare his presidency and how life was under Donald Trump versus how life actually is under Kamala Harris. And I think you're going to hear a lot of that tonight from him. Again, because I highly doubt that David Muir and Lindsey Davis are going to do it for him.
So just in closing on this topic, Laura, you said that Kamala is practicing for a quit. You said she's preparing her comeback and she wants her I'm speaking moment. Yeah. Yet it's President Trump who actually most likely, and if you were to poll people and ask what's the most famous debate moment of all time, without
question. It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
So it's like
amazing.
So it's like I think you might have even been in the. I think you might have even been in the room for that.
I was there,
and there weren't a ton of people there, but like the roar from the audience was amazing. So it's like, that. Listen, if you're doing an unscientific poll and you were to ask people what ended Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. What's the probability of getting that tonight?
I hope we have that. I hope that for people out there who don't know Kamala Harris, we're able to truly appreciate how radical she is and how dangerous she is for this country. But yeah, I hope for a viral Donald Trump moment, because I love a viral Donald Trump moment. And he didn't even intend it on the June 27th debate stage with Joe Biden. But we got it. We got the, I don't even think he knows what he said. That was amazing. And I think you can bank on something like that coming out of tonight. I sure hope so. I'm ready for it. I'm waiting for it.
I want to talk very, very quickly about lawsuits and election integrity and your work at the RNC. It's so important. No matter what we talk about on the program, I always want to return here because it's the cornerstone of something new that you've brought to the RNC, and you're really making headwinds now and fighting upstream and getting victories. Can you talk us through some of the victories in the small hours now away from the election?
Yeah, well, this is the most important thing. Look, we can never repeat 2020. We never want to go back and repeat those mistakes. And you can't have Americans not trusting our electoral system here in this country. And so while we've extended the branch across the aisle to our friends at the DNC to come join us in our election integrity pursuit, not surprisingly, Benny, they have not done that. But we have been successful, and we've gone state by state to make sure a couple of things are happening, that the voter rolls are cleaned up. You had Jocelyn Benson, the Secretary of State in Michigan, who did not want to clean her voter rolls. You had 92,000 inactive voters. We had to sue her. They cleaned those voter rolls, and now there's 92,000 inactive voters are off the voter rolls.
Wow. In just Michigan.
Yeah, in just Michigan. In Arizona, we had a big win via the Supreme Court, actually. Arizona was registering people to vote without confirming their citizenship in this country. We took it to the Supreme Court. They agreed with us. And so now you have to make sure that you are actually registering someone who, imagine this, Benny, is an American citizen to vote in our elections. And the wins we have are not just only in that state. They can be applied and used as precedent across the country. So we're having to go state by state and make sure the rules of the road are set up and in place. But additionally, we have been so successful in getting people to volunteer and be our boots on the ground and our eyes on the ground every time a vote is cast and counted. Michael Watley and I pledged 100,000 people to be part of our election integrity team. As of last week, we have 175,000 people who are currently being trained or have already been trained to be there as poll watchers, poll workers in tabulation centers, or legal experts on the ground. 500 lawyers we want in every battleground state, so that we are not waiting until we see a problem, waiting a month, a week later. We're going to address it right then, right there in that moment. And we've used a lot of the primaries as sort of our test runs to make sure that we have everything set up and everything is working in terms of our system. We want every voter, no matter for whom you are casting a vote, whether it's a Republican, a Democrat, or a third-party candidate, to feel like if you're voting in the United States of America, your vote counts. And so we hope that that's what everybody feels as they go out to vote this election cycle. I do want to encourage everybody, get out and vote early. Bank your vote, because life happens. You never know. And we cannot play catch up with the Democrats on election day. If everyone gets out and votes early and then makes a plan to get other people out to the polls, we make it too big to rig. We swamp the vote, and Donald Trump becomes the 47th president. That's the goal, and that's what we've done. But we've been very successful in a lot of our pursuits. A lot more to do, because we know on the other side they're always going to try and have a little nefarious activity, but we're looking out for it, and we're sending a message loud and clear. If you cheat in an election, we'll find you, we'll prosecute you to the full extent of the law.
ProtectTheVote.com. It's on the screen right now, and you have every swing state up there, and every single state in contention with a big race up there. And you can click on the state that you live in and find ways to help. Volunteer and secure your election. Okay.
Please do it. We need everybody. Listen, 175,000, but we would love to have 200,000, 250,000. We also want to be a deterrent, Benny. We can never allow cheating in our elections here in America. Otherwise, we're like a banana republic, third world country. We want to stop it, and we want to make sure that nobody even dares try it this election cycle. So come be part of the team. Thank you.
Yes.
ProtectTheVote.com.
Look at this. And in closing, the Justice Department, undocumented individual charged in connection with voter fraud. Goodness, Laura, this mixed with the Arizona news, that sounds like foreign interference in our elections. And we stand against that. Goodness gracious.
We sure do stand against that.
Yes.
And by the way, we're in election season, Benny, whenever they're bringing Russia back up and trying to make some sort of a connection between Republicans and Russia. Let's be very clear. American citizens are the only ones who should be deciding American elections, period. We can all agree on that. And I would love to see more prosecutions of people who are interfering, who are not American citizens, in whatever form that takes. We love to see that sort of thing.
Yeah, let me know where I can help. I would love that. True foreign interference in our elections.
Yeah.
Foreign nationals voting in our elections. Democrats have fought for it. I'm glad to see some prosecutions, and I'm glad to see Supreme Court victories there. Being America first and American first means only Americans voting and influencing our elections, period. Laura, thank you so very much for being on the program. I know time is short today. This is going to be a very exciting day. Everybody go follow the great Lara Trump. I mean, goodness gracious. Come on, people. She's on her way to 2 million followers. Look at this. And we will be joining on a boat parade, an amazing boat parade on October 13th.
Yes.
I think
Can't wait.
Laura and her great husband will be leading. So maybe the biggest boat parade in human history.
Let's do it. Why
We'll
not?
see.
Yeah.
All right, Laura. This is going to be an exciting night. We'll
Yes.
see you online.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right, baby. We're rocking and roll. Lara Trump saying Trump's going to be loose. Trump's going to bring it tonight. He's prepared, set, cool, calm, collected, ready to go. The Kamala Harris is probably over-prepared. And that over-preparation is going to lead to Kamala getting just tripped up. Shaken like a leaf. It's going to be an exciting night. I know somebody who's going to be watching, and that is the great Senator Tuberville, who joins the program live now with an important legislative update. Senator, thank you so much for about the SAVE Act. I know your time is short, and so we want to get right to it. We just ended a session with Lara Trump talking about foreign interference in our elections. Only Americans should be voting in our elections, quite obviously. But you're seeing roadblocks in the Senate to adding the SAVE Act to must-pass bill. What's the status of that?
Well, first of all, Lara Trump's not going to have the biggest boat parade. We've had that in Orange Beach, Alabama. Last go around, we had hundreds and hundreds of boats, and we're going to have that in the coming right down the road. But it was good to see Lara on. She's going to be in Alabama on Friday night. We're having a big fundraiser in Montgomery. Good to see her. But SAVE Act, what a thought, having a citizen only of the United States of America voting in our elections. Wouldn't that be a great thing to happen? It's just unfortunate. The Democrats don't believe in that. They want everybody to vote. Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, goes, it's already illegal for illegal immigrants and non-citizens to vote. Hey, Mark, it's also illegal to rob a bank, but they still do it. And we need to stop it. And President Trump is going to win this election. He's going to win it outright, but we just want it to be a fair election. But the SAVE Act says nobody votes unless you're an American citizen, but the Democrats don't want to vote on it, and we won't vote on it, but it's good to talk about.
So you're saying that this is unfortunately not going to get a vote. Even John Tester probably trying to save his seat, saying, "Oh, I'm in favor of the SAVE Act."
No, he's not in favor of the SAVE Act. He's in favor of whatever Chuck Schumer tells him he's in favor of, and he's done that since he's been up here. I just sat with John, and at the they're having a memorial in the Capitol for the Afghanistani parents and families that were killed in Kabul, months ago or years ago, 3 years ago. But no, listen, I mean, they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear during election time. I'm just anxious to hear. Everybody's anxious to hear, Kamala, what do you stand for? I mean, you haven't done an interview in 52 days. Nobody knows. I mean, it's obvious she doesn't know what she's doing. It's the worst pick ever to run for president of the United States. And we're in so much trouble right now. Anybody would be better than her that's actually had some experience in politics. But tonight will be very interesting, Benny. And again, President Trump he'd talk to a pet store if you'd let him and do an interview anywhere. But this lady, she is scared to death. And I guarantee you she's going to be very nervous tonight walking out there.
I like your metaphor of robbing a bank. I think that also from a federal level, liquor sales. I mean, this is something that's federally regulated, and you can't buy alcohol unless you are of age. And they have mandatory ID checks. And if you walk into any pub, if you walk into any bar, if you walk into any sports bar or any liquor store, there's going to be a giant federal sign on the door that says we check IDs. And that's to make sure that people can't buy liquor when they're 14 years old. And so why is that? Why is it even like remotely strange for us to do that for voting?
They want to keep power. That's the only thing they have. They can't win an election outright. They've got to do something. They've got to have Russia collusion or something else that's going on. I could not believe Merrick Garland brought that up this week. I mean, it just made me sick at my stomach to actually see the FBI director there that was sitting there with him to bring that up, to kind of put that back in everybody's mind, which we all know now it was started by Hillary Clinton and all those other thugs on the Democratic side. So, we got to fight through it. It's tough to be an American citizen. It's tough for somebody in this country to love the Constitution. It's just tough to be part of America when you're having to fight all the communist Democrats. And again, you shouldn't even say Democrats anymore, because there's no Democrats left.
You have a post up here on X on your Coach Tommy Tuberville profile, and we encourage everybody to go follow Coach here. But so much of the argument against what you're trying to do here by securing American democracy in elections, so much of that argument is it never happens. Oh, illegals never vote. And here we have a DOJ filing of an illegal criminal alien that's voted multiple times under fake auspices, and so our own federal government is saying that it's happening. We're of the contention that like a single illegal vote taints an election, really harms an election, like one illegal vote, much less hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, these blue states get offended if you say, hey, why don't you clean your voting rolls up? Why don't you get all the dead people off of it? Why don't you make sure that people actually are registered to vote, or only registered to vote one time in one state? It should be a no-nonsense job of a Secretary of State in any of the states in the country of do your damn job. I mean, your number one job as Secretary of State is to make sure you have fair elections, not just federal, but also state, county, and local. But they don't want to do their job in these blue states. They want as many people on there to vote as possible, where they can finagle the numbers. And again, it just makes you sick at your stomach to see this happen, where people just know that they can get by with it. The media is not going to hold them accountable. People like you, your podcast, they're the only people that hold these communists accountable, but it's really not enough.
So that's true foreign interference in our elections, illegal criminal aliens from foreign countries voting as American citizens, stealing America's right to vote. And our precious democracy is actually under threat from that activity. We thank you, Senator, for fighting for that. I wanted to give you just a quick, speaking of the people who fight for us, I know you represent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of veterans, and that you meet with veterans all the time. And you were just at a memorial ceremony, or are going to a memorial ceremony for the Kabul 13. Can you describe sort of the mood in the Senate right now? I know that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has never even said these individuals' names.
Yeah, and they're not going to. They got exposed when President Trump came to Arlington Cemetery a couple of weeks ago. He was asked by the families to come, and of course, then the mainstream media just rips him apart, saying he was using it for a campaign photo op. Donald Trump doesn't need a photo op. He doesn't need that. He's on TV and talked about more than any other politician ever. What they're hiding is the people behind the scenes that got these young people killed. It should have never happened. The first thing, and again, I just got back from it. We already had the memorial. The first thing that Speaker Johnson said when he got up on the podium in front of all the families about 2 hours ago, he said, "I'm sorry. We're sorry. This should never happen. The American government failed you." And he's exactly right. Nobody's ever apologized. This should have never happened. People were held back from taking the bomber out. These young people could still be living today, but we have so inadequate White House, DOD. Our military now has been overrun by the DEI group. All the people out there that want to be I don't know what you call them, that want to be just nice to everybody instead of being a machine that protects the United States of America and its allies. I've never seen a transformation like we've had with our military in the last 3.5 years. It's just, my dad was career military, died in the military, and this is not my dad's military that we have today.
Well, we thank you for standing with those families. I want to give you the last word here, Senator, because, of course, everyone's tuning in for debate night. I know you've given plenty of motivational speeches as a coach. I know that suddenly The Rock is now supporting Donald Trump. You predicted that on this program, Senator. The Rock is now saying nice things about Donald Trump on stage. That was all the news this weekend. So we're not sure if you had a hand in that. But could you please give us, in closing, sort of your motivational speech to President Trump tonight? What do you expect to see through Election Day?
Well, President Trump has done thousands of interviews and debates. He's had to defend himself right and left. He really doesn't have to do that tonight. He needs to be relaxed, walk out on stage, be accessible. We know you're going to tell the truth. Just basically force her to tell the truth. Do not allow her to get by with telling things that are not truthful. Like her, for instance, telling the whole time in the last 3.5 years, the border's closed. The border's closed. They hadn't done a damn thing to close the border. They have opened the border even more. I was on a plane coming from Bogota, Colombia, last week back to Houston. Half the plane was illegals that the Biden and Kamala Harris administration is flying in now. They don't want them to walk anymore. They're spending American taxpayer money to fly them into our country anywhere they want to go. So President Trump needs to relax. He's the smartest person in that building and will be the smartest person in the White House for the next 4 years to help this country get back in the right direction.
You coached The Rock. Did you tell him you should be nice to Trump? Not endorse Biden.
No, I've got a picture of me chewing The Rock out on the sideline. I show that to people all the time. And that's back in the days where he was playing behind Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis. And we had a great defense, but he was a good young man, worked hard. And usually cream comes to the top when it comes to people that understand the difference between right and wrong. And I'm glad The Rock came out and standing up for all Americans.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's actually what we want to see from people of his stature, to just say this is a good thing. We shouldn't be firing bullets at our presidential candidates. Donald Trump made us all proud in that moment, which is what The Rock said, and it was beautiful to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, please follow the great Senate. Look at it. Look at the Senate. Let's get them to 100,000 right now. Let's get up to 100,000 followers for the senator right now. Thank you so much for fighting for us, Senator.
Thank you, Benny. God bless.
Godspeed. Okay. Boom. Got him. President Trump out with an ad this morning, which is really interesting stuff. He's put together a list of highlights. This is how President Trump started his morning. This is put out at like 5 a.m., a list of highlights. Donald Trump, psychological warfare, man. That's what he's doing. Psychological warfare. You know, Kamala saw this. Wanted to get there right early in the morning. Here you go, Kamala. Here's what's prepared for you tonight.
Both hours, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare, we're trying to provide housing for Black Americans. The impact on the choice, the idea that they're gonna, I've been proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I've not raised the cost of Social Security for anybody. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And wants to get away with, get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it stopped. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
We're coming for you, Kamala. Oh, yeah, that's what you have to prepare for. That's the ad. That's the ad that Trump put out after the last debate. Imagine performing so well in a debate that you actually don't have to include any clips of you speaking. I'm speaking. Okay, please. What do you have to say? What do you say in your defense? Exactly. Oh, that's such a savage ad. It's hard to watch. I jumped into the chat. I was like, this is hard. This is difficult to watch. It'll be a different vibe tonight, right? Because if Donald Trump went hard on Joe Biden, would truly look like elder abuse. It'll be, I think, a little more lively. And my prediction for tonight, Kamala Harris is going to start off strong. She's going to have all of her pre-scripted notes and stuff like that. And she's going to deteriorate like uranium-235. I mean, it's going to be like radioactive level half-lives and deterioration. And it's going to atomize by the end of it. She's going to get flooded. There's going to be like a Donald Trump moment, right? In the debate. I'm predicting this at like minute 20. And then boom, all the meds that Kamala's on is going to wear off. Everything is going to sort of start like crumbling, and she won't be able to catch her breath after that. That's my prediction. And Donald Trump's built for this. Donald Trump's done close to 10 presidential election debate. I think the number is 7. So general election debates, it's very, very stressful. General election debates. So the guy is now is a prehistoric monster when it comes to this kind of stuff. So that's my prediction. Let's pop up the graphic one more time. We have a massive night for this evening. We are going to be live. We're not going to miss a moment. We have members of the Trump family that'll be joining us. We have members of Congress that'll be joining us. We have some of Trump's attorney generals and Trump's generals like Mike Flynn will be joining us, along with some of the greatest activists and some of the brightest minds who can talk about this current moment. And so we're going to be stacked, baby. We're going to be stacked, and then we're going to go right into the debate, and we're not going to miss a single moment, even during the commercial breaks, which I think there will be some tonight. I get every impression it's going to be a 90-minute debate. I think there's going to be commercial breaks, and so we're going to have entertainment during the commercial breaks. So get ready. We are built for this in our own right. Ladies and gentlemen, in closing today, the new polls, wow. Daily Mail's election model reveal that Trump has surged ahead of Kamala Harris and shows how RFK Jr. dropping out handed key states to Donald Trump. Nate Silver now showing effectively that Donald Trump, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but Donald Trump may have a 100% chance of winning the election. Things have gone crazy here. Okay, so you can see here in the Daily Mail, in their article, sort of where they predict the current state of play is. Down here to the map, Killer Klein. You have Donald Trump on the 287. This is taking some liberties with Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Arizona, and Nevada. So that's what they show the path there. And Harris cracking 250 and 251 with that pesky little electoral vote there out of Nebraska, the Nebraska 2. So what will it look like? That shows Trump winning Pennsylvania. Oh, man. Now all of the polls, like, this is not good psychologically for Queen Camilla. Here's what Nate Silver had to say in his latest poll. Nate Silver's latest poll, man, is atrocious for Kamala. This is the mathematical and predictive chance of winning. Trump up again, 64-35. A reminder for you who may not have been paying attention, but we do this every single day and we're obsessed with it. Let's scroll on down there to Klein. And let's get that graphic up. So a reminder that this was within a decimal point of where Joe Biden was when they threw him overboard. Joe Biden was at 33.9 and Donald Trump was at 65. And that's when they took Joe Biden out back. So this is a devastating outlook for Queen Camilla. And Camilla also looking down the barrel of the New York Times poll. New York Times over indexes for Democrats. It's like the definition of a suppression poll, right? To Kamala Harris, she's up by 20 points. This is what they did with Hillary. It's like the definition of a suppression poll. New York Times says Trump's ahead now. So holy guacamole. Donald Trump winning every single swing state is what Nate Silver has. In that scenario, in the scenario where Donald Trump actually wins the popular vote by 1 point, 99.7% chance of winning for Trump. Whoa. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Lock it in, okay? Lock it in. Run like we're 10 points behind, which is what we must do. Run like we're 10 points behind. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be running later tonight. We'll be live with a monster show, and this is going to be the place for the debate. We even have a cool graphic. Do we have a graphic? All right. We'll play the graphic on the way out here. Please. Yeah. Yeah, we got that. Oh, okay. Let's do it. Okay. Well, look at it. Look at a little taste of what we're building for tonight. Come on. You know how we're going to do it around here. We're going to have comments on screen. We keep trying to find the way to put the comments literally waterfalling on screen. That's available on single platforms only. We want to do waterfall comments on screen. We're probably going to have to build our own tech for that. We want your comments on screen. We want you to be part of the conversation. We want you to be seen. And we listen on this program. And we listen to you. We appreciate so deeply. We love you. We love you. We care about this country. Our only and singular motivation is saving this place. I got 4 kids, man. You know, my wife's pregnant again. And we are here to win it. I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to leave a devastated and desolate and destroyed country to my children. I won't have that on my conscience. And so that's what we're fighting for. It's probably the same motivation you have. Do you have kids, grandkids? Do you want kids one day? Maybe you're younger. This is our singular motivation. It's to save America. Save this place, right? And then once you save it, you can make America great again. So that's us. How do we do that? We got to keep focused on what? One thing. That it's not one man, it's not one party, it's not one movement. It's not that. That's not going to save America. The only thing that can save a country like this, that can even create a country like this, is our Lord and Savior in heaven. It is God's providence and His providence that overflows that actually kept this country alive and moving in so many times in our history, and we must call upon it again. That's why we do our verse of the day. Verse of the day from Psalms 91. If you make the Most High your shelter, no evil will conquer you, no plague will come near your home. For He will order His angels to protect you wherever you go. Whew! Any of you lived through this verse during COVID? Man, what a plague on the country. What do they have planned? We're not sure. Vivek's been telling us that they're going to do something bad. That Kamala Harris is going to collapse after this, and then they've got some real, get ready for the really crazy stuff. So stay locked in. Make the Most High your shelter. No, nothing that has been created by man will withstand the spiritual forces that can be brought against it. Only our Savior, okay, and our Lord and Savior is in heaven, Christ Jesus. Okay, so stay locked in. We're going to be locked in tonight. We appreciate you. We love you, and we're fighting right alongside you. It's your boy Benny, and this is the Benny Show. See ya.
What are you going to wish for? How many wishes do I get? As many as you want. Really? Try it.
TV screen, stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny Show's a storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salting all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Liberty to light. Bringing liberty to life. From the speeches to debates, Benny sharp like a blade, cutting through the lies, watch the truth cascade. With the warrior's heart, this man never fades. You know it's prime time when Benny invades. From saving the nation to stories untold, the Benny shows the storm, see the truth unfold. Stay in the loop, let freedom take hold. Salt in all the libs, soul never sold. It's the Benny Show, where the truth gon' be. Faith and freedom on your TV screen. Stand up strong, battle through the night. The Benny Show's here, bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light. Bringing liberty to light.